So, what was life like for you before you were working with me, and what's different from what you feel now?
Yeah, basically, when I started off with you, I knew that there was something missing in terms of my approach. It was very much a case of a shotgun approach. It was whatever came into my view, I would just target it and shoot it down because I was an expert firefighter. I still am, but I'm a recovering firefighter. And being able to kind of rather just take a tempered approach, it's not something that comes easily to me. It's a case of more being very solutions orientated and being very good at that, but at the same time understanding how can I maybe take a more strategic approach? How can I also then take a step back and understand, is this all on me or is that just a story that I'm telling myself?
Yeah.
And so that's something that came through very clearly, especially in the last couple of sessions where essentially it's almost tied to a victim mindset. You see others and you say, oh, they're victims. But actually, the story I was telling myself was a victim story, which was it's all on me. And you made me very aware of that. So where
Yeah.
I am now is much more consciously aware of what I say to myself, the internal narrative, and catching myself before going down the story route and rather saying, well, what's really happening here?
Mm.
And can I bring the people into my circle that can help me to reduce that need to feel the overwhelm. So yeah,
Mm.
that's where I'm at right now. It's a very more structured approach,
Mm.
even though there's a lot of what people might call chaos.
Mm.
It's a little bit more ordered, and I
Mm.
would also say my next year is going to be much more structured and bringing the right people into my mix. So I would almost say Justin V2,
Yeah.
which was this year,
Yeah.
is now moving to a V3.
Yeah.
Um, Also signifying the change in the color, almost the yellow, the sacral energy of just moving forward and clearing and
Yes.
having the clarity. So I feel we've moved into a different phase as a company and then for me as a founder.
Beautiful. And if you could say, like, what would be the unexpected breakthrough or even realization that you experienced during this time together?
For me, the realization was stepping into my power and understanding more what it is that I had as an offering.
Yeah.
I know that we had many conversations about just bringing that clarity and awareness to how good my products really are. I knew deep down, but I almost felt like I had to justify to people in order to get the sale. You had to enter into sales mode. I had to explain all the benefits. And sometimes it was just as simple as showing up as I am, bringing this high vibrational product that we always talk about, whether it's the mana brew for coffee alternatives or the
Mm.
cacao, the wizard mix, for instance, and
Yeah.
just letting the product speak for itself as opposed to needing to explain what it is and what it does. Of course, there's time and place for education,
Yeah.
but sometimes sitting back, allowing the person to experience it for themselves is
Yes.
another complete story in itself. Because when I realized what was happening, there was an ingredient that I was not mentioning in my products, which was the essence of who I am.
Yeah.
And essentially, that is life force coming from within all of us, but life within is an extension of who I am.
Absolutely.
And so that clarity came through very clearly of this is me.
Mm.
Life within is me.
Mm.
And it's an extension of who I am. And of course it has its own energy, it's its own organic being that's creating a really beautiful connection with my customers, interactions at festivals, and you're finding people having a relationship with this beautiful entity.
Mm.
And me, that is everything. And so that final ingredient missing was the awareness of what essence of me, of my soul, am I putting into the product?
And
And so
how,
that's
sorry, Justin, but I love that what you said, and it makes me wonder that how do you feel in yourself now compared to when you started?
much more complete in terms of confidence and knowing what it is that I bring to the table, in knowing what I have as an offering and my product offerings, in
Mm.
terms of taking that beautiful ingredient that we had already and then adding further layers to it, adding depth to it, and understanding that there's a more premium value add. And that value add is something that is so hard to normally understand from a tangible perspective. But
Yes.
here you are impacting hundreds and thousands of people in different ways. And for me, it was a real profound awareness of I have purpose in this world. And what we're bringing is a high vibrational product, whether it is any of our three categories, and knowing that it's impacting people in a really beautiful way. So for me, that's that awareness of like sitting back and saying, wow, look at what you've actually done. And
Mm,
it's actually a 3-year cycle now, subsequent to, having launched to the public. It really is incredible. And I'm just excited to see where we go in 2026.
beautiful. So I want to ask you, what do you appreciate about me that you think others may not see?
Yeah. So I would almost say in terms of stepping into that ability to trust, if you've been introduced to Elika,
Mm,
there's a reason why you've essentially met her.
yeah.
And if it comes up intuitively that you aren't quite sure whether to take the next step, you got to ask yourself the question, what are you missing from what it is that you wanted to convey, whether it's a message, whether it's a strategy, whether it's a business clarity. For me, the business clarity came through so strongly. There are so many individuals out there who are purporting to being business strategists, but working with somebody that understands the industry and understands essentially what people are looking for and how to kind of find the signal from the noise. That
Yeah.
for me was the clear winner, because there's a ton, as you kept saying to me, there's so many spiritual modalities, there are only so many journeys you can go on. But what is the signal that you're missing?
Yeah.
Ground yourself, get the message, cut the noise out, focus, get the deliverables out there, put it on paper. That for me was almost like a simple but really effective message that might not have been landing for me. And again, get your clarity from your meditation, clearing, setting your to-do list, getting the outline out there. There were just so many things that you can do, but you keep spinning in a circle without the clarity of what is it that you're trying to pull together. So
Yeah.
that it was an absolute win. So thank you.
No problem. Thank you for sharing. And you touched on it, but how do you feel that it was different in being a concierge client to maybe other programs or even practitioners or work that you've done in the past? Because you are somebody that has done a lot of work, and you're like most of my clients. By the time they get to me, they tend to have done a lot of work already on themselves. So, how would you say it's different from things that you've worked through in the past?
Yeah, so I mean, of course, I've done burnout coach and performance coach work, and I've done kind of like almost what is it that I am seeking from life and understanding your purpose. And almost all of these programs have been really helpful to get me to the next level. However, for me, this was the ultimate precision scalpel knife to go in with a surgery of, right, there is a body here that needs resuscitation. It's something that's moving, but how can you bring this life force to something that's it's a machination? I feel like there's moving parts, and it was going straight to what I needed from a business perspective, a business strategy perspective, a founder strategy as well, to kind of not only the business, but how does the founder survive and thrive?
Yeah.
Also, if you find yourself so tightly wound up in the business that you can't separate yourself from the business, that's also an unhealthy relationship, because then personal relationship, friendships, relationships with partners, even your pets end up,
Yeah.
suffering.
Yeah.
And we don't realize how tied up we get as founders. And I found myself many, many a time, essentially being lost in the noise. So for me, it's about this being very bespoke, very strategic. Of course, when you make the decision, you sink in and you're like, this is what I'm bringing.
Mm,
This is what I'm bringing in terms of awareness of trust in this process. And I think I enjoyed the accountability. So for me, I really need accountability to be able to kind of keep me on track. There is the rebel in me that says, don't tell me what to do. But
of course.
I know that it's really good for me in the end.
Mm,
And so when I take awareness of, come on, Justin, you're being a rebel, you
mm,
know you need to do these things. And then that really helped me to kind of keep me on track to have somebody that, first of all, understood what I was going through. You've been through it before, with you being a multiple business owner, founder, especially in this industry as well. It's just helped me completely understand the signal from the noise. So thank you.
Thank you.